Welcome, everybody. I'm here with my friend Eric Lofholm, and we're here to talk about this upcoming event we have coming up this weekend, this virtual event called Upgrade Your Coaching. If you're a coach or an online entrepreneur or anything in between, and you want to become a little more powerful in your life, or you want to learn how to grow a business from home or grow your coaching practice, this is the place to be. So, Eric, thank you so much for being here today.
Tony, I'm excited to be here. And as a coach myself, I think the event you put together, the speaker lineup, all the value that's going to be created for people that are interested in that coaching conversation, it's going to be amazing for them. So great job.
No, thank you so much. So, you're going to be talking about how people can really get clients from stage or from speaking. Now, you didn't necessarily from stage, but from speaking. So tell us a little more about what that means and what they're going to be looking to learn from you.
Yeah, I had the good fortune, or maybe it was destiny, but I used to work for Tony Robbins, world famous Tony Robbins. And I was a speaker for Tony. And what we would do is we'd go into companies in advance of Tony teaching the seminar in Chicago or New York. And we would do a little mini motivational talk and then enroll people into that seminar, like right on the spot. People would fill out their order form with their credit card. And I did that for 2 years. And so I learned how to enroll from the front of the room from, one of the greatest of all time, Tony Robbins. And so when I started my own speaker coaching trainer business, I just brought that model with me. And I've been doing it for the last 25 years. I still do it to this day. In fact, I had 2 Zooms yesterday, Tony. I picked up 12 clients just yesterday. And those are all great coaching clients. They're clients, they bought my group program, but I could sell them into one-on-one coaching if they wanted, had need for that. Right. So teaching people, how do you speak from the front of the room or Zoom and enroll them into giving you their contact information, like their email and phone number, asking for a free coaching session with you, or enrolling them into a program. That's where I have a lot of expertise, and that's what the conversation is going to be about this weekend.
Awesome. Well, before we continue, guys, you see I dropped the link here below. If you have to, take a picture of it, save it, memorize it, go to this link, make sure you register, sign up with us, get all this amazing value. You're going to have Eric and I and 12 other coaches there presenting tons and tons of value. And so I just go to the link, check it out. I don't want to give you a whole lot of details until you go check it out yourself. So that's great. I love what you're going to speak on. I love that people are going to get to see how to do that from either a Zoom or from stage. Now, for those that don't know who you are, can you give us a little history of how you went from there, or even prior to there, to where you're at now?
Yeah, I ended up in the early 1990s. You're going back 30 years ago, working for a seminar speaker named Dante Pirano. And I worked for him. I did customer service. I traveled with him on the road when he taught his seminars. I did telemarketing for him. So I was 2 years in the training industry. And then from there, after a short gap in my work history, I did the 3 years with Tony Robbins. So 5 years working for elite speakers that are phenomenal at driving revenue in their businesses. And so I started my sales training company in 1999, and I've been doing it ever since. So I love helping coaches, consultants, speakers, entrepreneurs with selling, because a lot of them, Tony, struggle with it. They have a mindset. It's like, I just want to coach. I don't want to sell.
Right.
I want to speak. I don't want to have to sell the speaking engagement. I want to consult. I don't want to have to sell it. And that mindset is problematic, because it's challenging to drive revenue when you're uncomfortable. So I love helping people learn how to become comfortable. It's using some reframing techniques. It's not hard. It's just a different way of thinking, and having them embrace selling, and then learning a step-by-step process. So that's what lights me up to teach.
Nice. So I know there was a couple of people commenting to put the link in the comments. I hope that my comment went to your page there. If not, you may need to share this a little later, but I did for everyone asking in the comments. I did post this link in the comments. So click the link, join us. It's going to be so much fun. Like you said, I'm still in awe at the lineup that we have. I I look at that, and I was speaking with Paul Fink last night, and he mentioned something on our live. He's like, Tony, I can't believe the people you put together. And I'm like, well, it was just those, the universe was speaking to me about reaching out to individuals, and it happened to work out. So here we are.
Yeah. And if any of you are having trouble with the link, feel free to private message me on whatever channel you're on, or you can message Tony. Yeah. It's coming up this Friday and Saturday, and there's no cost. Right. So you're going to get world-class instruction from instructors like Tony and myself. And even I heard Steve Chandler is going to be one of the speakers, which Steve Chandler is one of the greatest coaches in the history of the world. I mean, just amazing human being. Get a chance to learn from Steve. And it's going to be a great lineup, and I'm excited to be one of the speakers there, Tony.
Nice. Awesome. And so just a minor correction about what Eric said there. So yeah, there is no out-of-pocket money on this, but when he says there's no cost, that's a little untrue, because there is some cost. There is a cost of your time, an investment of your time to be there, to learn from each one of these speakers, to the cost of investing and taking your notes and learning, and then the cost to implement those things that you learn. So to Eric's point, yes, there's no out-of-pocket fee. However, there is an investment of time to learn and implement. And it's worth every minute of your time to be there for that. So I love what you've done. And so there's a little bit more. So what you guys may or may not know about Eric is also the leader of another group that we're both a part of. Signed up. So sweet. Nice, Debbie. I'm glad can't wait to see you there. So Eric's also the leader for the Ultimate Coach Group. And it's really been an incredible journey that I've had the privilege to be involved in since close to the beginning. Can you give us a little bit about that too, so that just even more for people to understand why it's so important to be here with us?
Yeah, so I actually am the CEO of two companies, my sales training company, which I've been doing for 25 years, and Being Movement LLC, which I've been in charge of now for about 6 months. Yeah. And the project goes back 1.5 years. Yeah. And that's based on Steve Hardison's work that's documented in the book, The Ultimate Coach. And it's all about being. And we have social media following on Facebook groups, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. It's truly a global movement. And that's how Tony and I met. And I love being a part of that. And I love sharing with people about being. Yeah. And when it comes to selling, my area of expertise, if we're avoiding sales, or if we're being uncomfortable selling, in other words, it's a position that you're coming from in the enrollment process. Right. And so a lot of people come from a place of fear or uncomfortableness around money, deserving the money. And that's a place to come from. And what Steve teaches around being is that we can shift that. Mm-hmm. And so instead of coming from uncomfortableness, asking for the order, you can show up powerful and confident, the highest expression of yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's a way to tap into something. It's not creating something that's not there. It's tapping into the potential that's already exists inside of you. Right. And it's really it's an incredible concept.
It is. And it's funny. When you and I first started working together, and both of us kind of connected with Steve, you before me, of course, I struggle with that myself. I mean, I've always been fairly confident, but I could run the entire process right up until the actual ask, and then it would stumble and dab and just mumble. But once when we started talking, you and I, and a little bit with Steve, about gaining that confidence and really turning that power around, it's really made a big difference. And it's made a huge difference in the path that the trajectory of my coaching business, and of course these events that we're working on.
Well, when you look at the speaker lineup, how did you get such an extraordinary speaker lineup? It's the place you were coming from. Right. You're like, I want to put together the premier virtual coaching conference on the planet.
Right.
So you came from that place, and then from that place, you're like, well, who are the speakers? Well, they're the premier people that are, part of your network, or that you had access to.
Right.
And they were drawn to that. And that's where someone else might be like, oh, well, I could never get that speaker, or I couldn't do that, or I'm going to put together a conference, but it's not going to be the premier conference for my industry. And so it's a really powerful thing that we all can do.
Yeah.
You can do it in your business, your sales, and you can do it as a parent, as a husband, as a wife. Me, I'm a stepdad. I want to show up and be an extraordinary stepfather to my stepdaughters. So it's a really amazing idea that is very helpful in us creating results in the world.
It really is. It really is. And you've seen some of that transformation that's happened along the way with me. And part of that is, like you said, gaining that confidence. When you and I first met, I was just starting to turn that corner. This is January, like you said, a year and a half ago, or a little more than a year and a half ago. And I was just starting to turn that corner just a little bit. And then starting to interact with yourself and some other folks with what I perceived as a higher level of authority just gave me that extra boost to now I have no problem reaching out to anybody. And those I know you've worked with and that I've worked with as well have gained that confidence to where they're just another human being. It doesn't matter if we think they're up here or down here. We're all human beings, and everybody likes to have a conversation.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah. So let me put this back up here for anybody that missed it. Let me put this link back up here. It's also in the comments, guys. Go to this link, join us for this 2-day virtual event. It's again, the lineup is phenomenal. Eric mentioned it. We have Steve Chandler, who is actually a lifetime student of Steve Hardison, and he's considered the godfather of coaching. We've got his co-author, Colleen Samuel, who they wrote Wealth Creation for Coaches. And Ankush Jain is here. We got Eric here. We've got a crazy great lineup. So make sure you go to the link, register, come join us. So Eric, before we get off here today, what else do you have to tell our audience? What else can you tell them about either what you're going to talk about, the event, or just in general?
Well, from a speaking standpoint, there's a greater opportunity for speaking than at any time in history because of Zoom and social media. Right now, I would call, Tony, what you and I are doing, I'd call this public speaking.
Right.
And so anybody can go live on social media. There are these Zoom meetings where you can come in and be a guest speaker and connect with people all over the world. Yesterday, I had 2 Zoom talks with about 40 people in each of them. So I was in front of 80 people from the comfort of my own home. And so if you want to learn, how do I speak and turn that into business, the focus is going to be on coaching, but you could use the techniques for anything. That's what I'm going to be talking about. And so, Tony, can you give the dates and the times for everybody as well so they know when the class is?
Absolutely. And I'll put them in the chat as well. So the dates are Friday and Saturday, September 15th and 16th. If you choose to upgrade to the Mega VIP pack, then you'll have a bonus day on Sunday where we're all going to get together and have a panel interview. There's a scavenger hunt for prizes. And then and it's a virtual scavenger hunt, by the way. We're not telling you to leave your house. And then the times are going to be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time each day, with lunch and breaks in between. So those are the dates. And before we really move on or move out, I got to let everybody know that today is Eric's birthday. I know he probably wasn't looking for an announcement, but the nice thing is on his birthday, he decided to give you guys a gift by sitting here with us and chatting. Give us a gift by giving us some more insight and some value of what it's like to sell from stage or from Zoom. And Eric, thank you so much on your birthday. Again, happy birthday.
Tony, you're welcome. And I'll wrap with this idea. And it's a thought that I have, and it's to serve the person in front of me all day long.
Yeah.
So I love serving, and it's my birthday, and the gift to me is to be able to serve. So I'm serving all day long in the way that I do, and being here is a form of serving. And so when I'm selling, I'm serving. When I'm enrolling, when I'm inviting, I'm serving. When I'm coaching, I'm serving.
Right.
When I'm taking my daughter to work or picking her up from school, if she needs a ride, I'm serving.
Yeah.
And so if we live a life of service, that's just a really powerful state of being. And Tony, I want to just acknowledge you for being the leader that you are in the coaching world, being a leader in the industry, to have a conference, have a virtual event where people from all over the world can learn from you and also from the amazing speaker lineup that you put together. So thank you for how you're showing up in the world.
Well, thank you for that acknowledgement. I really appreciate that, Eric, especially coming from you. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Again, the link's right here. If for some reason the link's not working for you, reach out to Eric directly or reach out to me directly. We'll get you set up. Make it an amazing rest of your day. And thank you for joining us. Take care.